be the greatest country in the world. And it is worth fighting for. It is worth bleeding for. And if it takes it, it's worth dying for the greatest country that this world has ever seen.
Good morning, dear America family. It is Tuesday and day one. We have gotten through day one of the brand new Trump presidency, and it was an exciting one. We're going to break some things down for you, and it was not without controversy, and it was not even without tragedy. So even with all of the good things, there are some bad things, and we're going to talk about them. My name is Chad Prather. I'm filling in for Graham Allen. A very special welcome to all of the Dear America family. If you are in the live chat over on Rumble, the big chat's over on Graham's page, but you can still subscribe to mine. Go ahead right now and click that like and share button. Get involved in the chat, because that's what makes the Dear America show so much fun. And we're going to have some fun today. I can't wait to get y'all's opinion on a lot of the things that happened yesterday. I think by and large, a big, fat cloud has been lifted off of our country. Of course, the libs are breaking down, melting down. They are crying, and we will definitely let them do that. They have earned a few tears, and so Me personally, I'm kind of excited about where we're headed as a country. I think it's a good deal, man. We're off to the races, but just trust me on this. Everything that happens every single day that Donald Trump is in the office, as long as he's president, every single day, we're going to have something to talk about, because there's going to be somebody who is melting down over something he says or does. Now, we voted for this, and we're excited about it. And I think that the Dear America family, from what I've seen, you guys are kind of okay with a few of those meltdowns. We welcome it. So this is exciting stuff. Before we get too deep into the show and bring on the rest of the crew, let me remind you about our friends over at Birch Gold. I want you to text Graham, Graham, to 989898. Our friends at Birch Gold, they will help you diversify your retirement accounts and make sure that you have a more secure future. If you got that IRA sitting there from maybe that you're not doing anything with, maybe you've got a retirement account from an old company and nothing's happening with it, I want you to call the folks over at Birch Gold. Actually, you don't even have to call them. They will send you a free, no obligation information kit and educate you. They will help you understand about diversifying your retirement into something a little more substantial, and that is gold and precious metals. So text Graham to 989898. Do us that favor today. Remind Birch Gold that the Dear America show exists, and they'll say, wow, man, we're getting a lot of folks that are interested in taking care of their financial future from the Dear America show. So text Graham to 989898. Make sure that you are diversifying your security for your future in precious metals, because those things, they keep their value. They have for all of human history, and that's not going away anytime soon. So text Graham to 989898, and you will make us so very happy. Graham is still in Washington, D.C. There'll be a lot of people who are asking, so when people start showing up in the chat later on, and they're like, where's Graham? You can tell them he's in Washington, D.C. I saw some pictures of them last night. They were obviously having a fabulous time. Great picture that Graham posted with the new Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth. They were looking dapper, suave, and debonair. And, of course, Royce is in D.C. as well. Hopefully they'll come back. Hopefully we can get them back on the show. But I'll tell you who is here, America's favorite redneck. Oh, hot seat. Todd.
And he is absolutely unburdened today. He is unburdened.
Unburdened and unbiden, baby.
Unburdened.
Yes.
And, man, what a glorious, glorious morning it was. I mean, don't get me wrong. It is freezing outside.
Yeah.
But God, man, I swear, I thought I saw a bald eagle in the front yard this morning. That's how glorious my morning was. Just drinking my coffee. I heard the national anthem in the background playing, hearing Carrie Underwood sing "America the Beautiful." Oh, what a great day! Good morning, everybody.
I woke up this morning blanketed in snow here in South Texas, in the Houston
great.
area.
That means it's headed this way.
It's coming your
Lovely.
way. So if you
Great.
guys are a part of this winter storm, be safe out there. Be careful,
Yes.
and especially if you're out there traveling. Prayers for our over-the-road truckers that are out there getting the supply lines filled and taking care of what we need here in America. God bless our truckers. And we also want to bring on the show everybody's favorite Mexican.
What up, everybody? Good morning. Sorry, man. I'm chatting with everybody in the live chat over here. It's one of my
Well,
favorite
how about
things
you
to do.
look up for 1 second, you
I'm
turd?
sorry. Good morning, everybody. There you go, everybody. Sorry, everybody got a kiss. There you go. All right, we're all good. Yeah, I miss my music. What the heck?
It is weird without the music. I'm sorry. Yeah.
That is very weird. Yeah, Todd, you're killing it, man.
Worked really hard yesterday. Yesterday was a long day.
Yeah, it was.
But
yeah, it
you
was.
know what? We're back, baby. We're
Yeah,
back.
we are.
And you know what? You know who should remind us about being back? Play this clip. Let's just get the morning started like this.
Okay, so and let me back up and put some context into this. So I saw it on X and I was like, oh my God, I'm a movie nerd. I'm a movie quote nerd, movie music nerd. So we'll play right here. And then show you what happened later.
Hello, boys! I'm back!
Independence Day, baby.
So that is a one Mr. Randy Quaid. And then last night, he posted this on X, and it was just epic. Let me put on my glasses. Wait for it. Wait for it.
We're back!
Oh, Cousin Eddie, man, you can't.
Oh, my goodness.
Dude, that guy is awesome.
You know
Can I
what?
just say? Can I just say he looks Amish? Is that
Yeah, a
wrong
little
to
bit.
say? Yeah.
A little bit. A little bit.
You know why Randy Quaid plays such a good nut? Is because he's a nut. He is an absolute nut. Another funny thing happened, and it could only happen to my friend Theo Vaughn. Theo was there. A lot of celebrities at the inauguration yesterday, and this is what happened to Theo Vaughn. Theo's a great comedian, great podcaster. He's sitting there with the Paul brothers, Jake and Logan. Here's what happens. Play it.
Oh, it happened. It happened. I said it would.
Just right in Paul's lap.
I got it on video here. It actually happened.
Kamala stairs.
No way. Did you really? I got it.
And you can literally hear Trump speaking in the background while
So
this
funny.
happens. And of course, in Theo fashion, Kamala's chair.
I mean, knowing Theo like we do, you gotta wonder, did you make that happen? I mean, he's a nut.
Well, they said he kept leaning back in his
Yeah.
chair,
Yeah.
and then finally it just gave out. I mean,
Yeah.
that would totally happen to me in a situation like that.
I mean,
like
couldn't
100%.
happen to a more a person who could play it off better than
Yes.
Theo. And
Yes.
I mean, everybody loves Theo Vaughn.
I don't know. That looked like it was a little pre-planned there because Jake had it
Yeah.
ready to go, dude, right when it was happening. So I wonder if him and Jake are in on it. So
I wouldn't put it past them at all, knowing those guys, especially those. I mean, the Paul brothers and of course Theo. Oh man, hey you guys, let me know you're alive out there in the chat. Make sure you're liking and sharing. I know Tony's active in the chat. Party Foul Steve's probably in there too, even though he ain't here. He's not in studio. It's snowing. He can't get down the road. But make sure you're subscribing to the channel and let me see some American flags in there. If you're excited about day one and what you saw happen, let me see some American flags in the chat. I want to see them. Blow that thing up. Let's get the algorithm rocking and rolling. Let's talk about the Biden crime family a little bit. Joe Biden on the way out proved that he did not have an administration. He was running a crime organization. So while Trump was speaking at the inauguration, Joseph R. Biden Jr., President of the United States of America, decided to pardon basically the entire family. And what's crazy about this is he didn't just pardon his brother James, which I predicted a long time ago that was coming. He pardoned everybody. I mean, people you have never heard of. And the reason he did that is because he had to make it look like he wasn't just pardoning his brother James. Because James is one of the ones who has lined his pockets with Chinese and Ukrainian money and everything else. I mean, he's been part of the family. You know, the whole 10% to the big guy and Pedo Pete and the email conversations back and forth between Hunter and Joseph Robinette Biden's brother, James. Boys, we need a sugar daddy like this.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, and I've done some research on this particular subject. No, a pardon cannot be revoked. I know some people in the chat after the very long stream we had yesterday. That's it. That's done. I mean, and these went back to, what'd you say, Tony? Like 2014?
2014
Like for Fauci,
for Fauci.
and the rest of them. So, man, I got nothing. I got nothing.
Tony, you're right on that, Tony. I mean, when you're going back 10 years, something's up.
Well, for me, what I love to see is that even the Democrats came out and they're just like, why would he do this? They're like, you know, there's no reason to do this, to pardon everybody if they did nothing wrong. There shouldn't be a preemptive pardon if there have been no illegal activities done. So,
well,
obviously, in the court of public opinion, everybody's like, hey, why would you do this unless something's up there?
I was Christopher Tremogli, who writes for the Washington Post. Examiner. He put this in there. He said, dishonest, deceptive, manipulative, corrupt. There may not be four better words to describe Joe Biden and his career in D.C. Dishonest, deceptive, manipulative, corrupt. Put in the chat some other words that you think could describe Joe Biden. This could get interesting.
Yeah.
Keep it reasonably PG-13.
Yeah.
For me, it still blows my mind. As yesterday I said, I had some interesting conversations in Oregon with very left liberal people. Still blows my mind that they are just in panic mode that Trump was coming in because they were supporting Harris, and Harris is just a continuation of Biden with that whole criminal enterprise he had going on. And it still blows my mind how these people think that the Harris campaign was going to come in and change all kinds of stuff when she had absolutely zero idea what was going on, zero policies to begin talking about. Even, I mean, you saw when she was coming in there that anytime they asked her a simple question, hey, how are you going to bring down inflation? And all she did was just cackle and pretty much said nothing. And it was just going to be a continuation of Biden's administration. And it just blows my mind that they're still.
I mean, it has it has been done before, and this question has been asked: can you pardon somebody without them being charged, convicted, or sentenced? It's very unusual. I mean, it has happened before. I mean, President Ford pardoned Nixon after Watergate before he was charged with anything. You know, and we'll get to this graph, but Jimmy Carter did the same thing for thousands of draft dodgers during the Vietnam era, and even Bush, President Bush, George H.W. Bush, pardoned Casper Weinberger before he was charged. Mm-hmm. So it's very unusual, but I mean, my thing, I said this yesterday, and I'll say it again: a guilty dog barks, and so these pardons are because they know. He knows he is the head of the Biden crime family, and yeah.
Well, I'd like to get both. Sorry, Chad. One more thing.
Go ahead, Tony.
I'd like to get both of you guys' opinion because yesterday I was watching Fox News and they were saying that they should still go after Fauci, even though they can't prosecute him, because in the court of public opinion, a lot of stuff will come out and show that they were responsible for a lot of things they did. But I'm 50-50 there because even though I think these people are guilty, it's just going to be a waste of taxpayers' money because they can't prosecute them and throw them in jail.
Well, here's what can happen in that instance. Just because you're pardoned, that's criminal, okay? You can't be brought into criminal court. You can be still brought in civil court. So, I mean, honestly, if I was an attorney, an Alina Habba, a man-eater, a bulldog like that, I would find these cases where people are having the myocarditis and issues like that due to the vaccine. All the people in New York that Cuomo killed, I mean, they can still be brought up on civil court. And so, I mean, at the very least, we could bankrupt the Peckerwood.
Yeah, and they definitely profited. I mean, I said yesterday on my show, 675 million vaccine jabs, and only one person got immunity, and that was Anthony Fauci. So that's a very telling situation. And you can, and I know that Ron DeSantis in Florida, the governor of Florida, is also writing up some charges right now and doing some investigating on that because they can be prosecuted in the states. So even though it's a federal pardon, they can be prosecuted in the states, and also there's the civil cases that can be brought against them. But at the end of the day, I like, Congressman from Texas, Chip Roy, said, let's get them in front of Congress now that they can't plead the fifth, and let's see what it is that they're getting pardons for, which I think would be very revealing to a lot of people in the U.S. So, Trump was impeached. I sent this to you, our friend Buck Sexton from Buck and Clay. He said Trump was impeached for bringing up the Biden family criminal corruption. Today, Biden pardoned his family for criminal corruption. One side was right on this, one was wrong. Now it's a matter of public record. So they went after Trump for questioning this.
Right.
Yep.
And here it is.
And don't forget how they went after Trump for pardoning. His didn't he pardon his son in his first in. Didn't he throw a pardon at one of his kids or a family member or something like that?
No, but again, the left is always going to accuse the right of doing what they're already doing. That's one of their deals. I mean, that's an Alinsky rule for radicals right there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the deals. And you see the chart right here, Todd.
Yeah, total insanity here. But there is a little asterisk here. We have to remind ourselves Jimmy Carter is still leading this race by a lot because how many was it, Chad?
Like 200,000.
Yeah, draft dodgers from Vietnam that he pardoned. But so you can see the light colors and even the little squiggly lines. Those are commuted sentences. And I have to remind you guys that, these are not all just like marijuana charges and stuff like that. He literally commuted the death penalty for an individual in Virginia that murdered a cop, that was a cop killer. So, but again, I have to go back and continue to say, this is not Joe Biden. It is the powers that be. It is whoever's pulling the puppet strings, the Obamas, the Clintons, the Pelosi's of the world. Joe Biden, he probably to this day right now couldn't spell pardon. So this is horrible.
Yeah, and Mark Milley, who got a pardon as well, General Mark Milley, he's still subject to court-martial.
Yes.
So
yes.
Pam Bondi, I saw somebody in the chat. She's going to be busy. She should be busy. You have what was potentially one of the most corrupt administrations ever in the history of the United States. I mean, absolute corruption. They are defined by corruption. We knew coming in. Listen, Joe Biden, we all knew Joe Biden was going to get the nomination out of however many, 23 Democrat candidates in the primary back in 2019. We knew Joe Biden was going to be the guy because he'd been in the country club long enough. Finally, they made him chairman of the board. The guy brought nothing to the table. He ran on being some foreign policy expert. He never was that. He was going to be the guy that brought unity and peace. He was going to cure cancer. He was going to do all this stuff. The guy didn't know where he was. They didn't even campaign him. I mean, he'd walk out to a rally and there'd be 16 people in a hula hoop, socially distanced, and then he'd get up there and say some kind of pablum and then get mad at some guy that called him on the carpet about something. You saw his anger there. We saw him falling up the stairs. We saw all the garbage that happened when he got in there. And so we knew it was going to be this. He wasn't going to be the guy who was pulling the strings. He wasn't going to be the guy. I mean, the other day, there were posts that were supposed to be his posts on X that he put out, but at the same time, he was addressing the nation.
Yeah, the 28th Amendment. You got to love that one.
So we know this has been an administration of 21-year-old, interns running the show, and then a bunch of progressive lefty rereads that have no clue about anything to do with critical thinking or common sense. And so this has been the most corrupt administration ever. And I had somebody who sent me a message yesterday that said, I actually liked Joe because I felt sorry for him on the human side. Not me.
No,
not
not
me.
at all.
He's a corrupt, crooked
all.
human being. And he peddled his crackhead son out there as a scapegoat so that whenever the heat got too hot as far as Ukraine and China and all that kind of stuff and the laundering of the money and padding their pockets and 10% for the big guy, they could blame it on the crackhead son.
Yeah, exactly.
You know how low you got to be to do that?
You have sympathy for people that have those conditions that obviously Joe Biden, and I don't know what it is. It's obviously something neurological, whether it's Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, Lewy body, whatever it is. You have sympathy for those individuals that are out there on the street, that somebody's grandfather and stuff like that, but not people who put themselves in positions of leadership.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't. All right, the leader of what is supposed to be the world's leader, and then you got a guy that can't walk a freaking flight of steps. He shakes imaginary people's hands, and he talks about corn pops, and just every 15 minutes he says, "Lick 'em." Like, no, that's not the leader of the most powerful nation on earth. Don't feel sorry for him.
I got a question for you guys, and you guys might know the answer. I don't. What is the history behind presidential pardons? Where did that come from, and why doesn't that? I understand the office of the U.S. president is the most powerful office in the world, but why is it that he can sign a pen, whether it be Trump, Bush, Biden, whoever? Why can't they just, with a signature, pardon umpteen thousand people for heinous crimes, or give them a presidential pardon, for a blanket pardon for crimes they might or might not have committed?
Yeah, and that is something that if you have a travesty of justice, or you have a weaponized justice, or you got a bad court system or something like that, they should be used sparingly, sparingly. But this is insane.
It
I mean,
is.
the insanity of this. Carter, again, is an anomaly because of Vietnam. I get that. But
Yeah.
this insanity that you're going to pardon 8,000 people and just give them a blanket immunity on this deal. And here's the thing. I think the same thing that I said earlier that applies. He pardons his brother James, and then he pardons some nondescript family members that nobody's ever heard of. I mean, unless you're really paying attention to the Biden family, and I don't think too many people are climbing that family tree. But he had to do all of this. I think you had to have thousands because it still comes down to the one, and that's Hunter. And it comes down to the other one, which is James. So those were the ones who really have the goods on Joe. And he's trying to protect everything that's in there. So
Yeah. Well, and to answer your question, Tony, just a quick Google search, because I didn't know this myself. The history of the presidential pardon dates back to England, like before we were even a nation. It's something that we adopted from the king. And matter of fact, the first president to issue a pardon or amnesty was George Washington for the Pennsylvania Whiskey Rebellion. So this is nothing new, but I do think that over time, as we've seen with Joe Biden and several other presidents as well, this has become a quid pro quo. Hey,
I get all that. I just think it sets a very dangerous precedence, because I mean, can you imagine if you have? I'm just using President Trump because he's in office now. For the last 2 years, he's going to tell his family, you guys can do whatever the heck you guys want. You guys want to, do insider trading? Go for it, because I'm just going to sign a pardon for you guys. I'm going to give you guys a blanket pardon for whatever you guys do, so you guys are free to do whatever you want. I just think that's very, very dangerous. Whatever Biden just did right now, that's just, Go ahead,
it's criminal. It's criminal.
Yeah.
Hey, can we go back to that graph real quick? I want to point one thing out if you got it, Todd. I want to go back to that graph real quick. I want you guys to look at how few Trump did. I mean, if you look at this graph, you got George H.W. Bush, but then comparatively speaking, Donald Trump. And again, there's commutations, there's pardons and there's commutations in this thing. But Donald Trump, look how few, comparatively speaking. So again, it's funny if you look at who does the most, it tends to be the Democrats.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much.
It tends to be the Democrats. Let's go to some good news, man. Pete Hegseth. Pete
Amen.
Hegseth has been approved. Now he's just awaiting the Senate approval, so this is good. He has gotten the approval from the Senate Armed Services Committee, so I don't think there was any doubt. Pete handled himself so dadgum well in that confirmation thing.
Well.
I mean, they just didn't, to use Megyn Kelly's phrase, they didn't land a glove on him. And he's looking good. I mean, he's looking good all the way around. So that's good. As well as Marco Rubio, which is a little, maybe you can correct me in the chat here. Maybe a little nervous that the fact that he got 99 to 0
That right
votes.
there makes me nervous. Yeah,
Like,
that right there makes me nervous.
And I mean, I know Rubio is a senator. It can be a good old boys club, but 99 to nothing.
It's a
Why
good
does that make
score.
you guys- why does that make you guys nervous? I'd
Just
like to-
because there needs to be some dissenting vote.
Yeah.
Like there needs to be some dissenting votes. The fact that nobody disagrees with you bothers me a little bit.
Yes. Yeah, just a little bit.
So because that tells me you're going to go in there and play the political game with everybody, and or there's some back scratching going on, sort of like the presidential pardons. Which
Exactly.
we're going to move over to this deal, and we're going to make sure that everybody in the next administration's taken care of. Like this, how many favors are people expecting if you don't have any dissenting votes? So
Exactly.
to me, and I'm sure there's people way smarter than me in the chat who can educate me on that deal and allay my fears. But you know what? Pete, in the chat, I want to see that because he still needs the support.
100%. Pam, too.
Yeah, Pam needs it. Cash.
RFK, all of them.
And I heard from Cash and them the other day. They're doing great. They're hanging in there. Everybody was in good spirits. Yesterday was a great party. Can I just take a side note and say, what is Trump on? I mean, like, what does he take to have that much energy?
Dude, I wish I had that motor, bro. Like, I'm half his age, and oh my God, like.
So the parade deal that they did inside, and I will also say, I sort of liked the convenience of the indoor inauguration day.
Yes.
Like it was easier to view, to listen to experience if you weren't there. I know we've got the tradition of doing it outside, but man, it was safer. And again, I don't think they should always do something like that, but boy, it sure was sort of selfishly convenient. But when they did the parade thing, I think by the time Trump got into the Coliseum there, I think they were like over an hour late. Being there. So, just the fact that everything was kind of pushed further the way it was, because Trump, he doesn't. I'm listening to Trump last night, and he's there at the parade rally or something. He's like, the windmills are killing the whales. The whales, you got all these whales, and I'm like, come on, dude, what are you talking about?
And you can always tell because he'll look at this teleprompter and talk, then he'll look at that teleprompter talk, and then he'll go, what the hell are they? Yeah. And then he's like, yep, here he goes, off on a tangent. Here we go. And he starts talking about, we got Abe Lincoln right there and Uncle Sam right there. And I got to admit, I don't know who the hell these people are.
I don't know they are, but you're 6 foot tall.
I don't know who they are. But I think you're a little short to be Abe Lincoln, but
He's
okay.
so random. So random,
but
dude.
I love it. He's a human. I love it. He's a human.
I mean, you got real people back. Melania looked amazing. We can talk about all of that later on. But Vladimir Putin sent his congratulations. We won't do all of this, but it's very telling. It's very telling. I mean, Vladimir Putin's a straight killer. He's a murderer, former KGB executioner. He's not a good man. So we're not pro Putin. Don't get me wrong. But play a little bit of what he had to say, and of course you'll hear the interpreter.
And as for the events in the United States, indeed, today we will be seeing the inauguration of Donald Trump as the 47th president of the United States. Obviously, the election period was, by all means, not easy for President Trump, with fierce pressure being exerted upon him and his family members, all the way up to assassination attempts.
Oh.
But President Trump was courageous and
I mean, if
enjoyed
anybody
a
knows
landslide
assassination
victory.
attempts, it's that guy.
It's that
Now
guy
we
right
see
there.
their statements about wishing to restore direct contacts with Russia, suspended by the previous administration. We've heard his commitment to do everything to prevent World War III. Of course, we welcome this approach, and we congratulate the newly elected President of the United States
All right,
on
let's
his
stop it right
inauguration.
there. He, because he goes on for another minute or two. But he goes on to talk about peace between the United States and Russia. Now, again, we don't trust Putin as far as we can pick him up and throw him. We understand all of that stuff. He's a deceiver, but that he goes on and talks about anxious to pursue peace with Ukraine. I just believe Donald Trump's going to get a deal done. Listen, again, I know everybody doesn't like Donald Trump. Everybody out there, he violates your GOP establishment, Republican mind or whatever. Or you say, well, there's some kind of deep state thing going on right here. All right, let the fruit fall from the tree and let's see where it lands. Okay, let's see what happens. I think we're in good position here globally to rebuild an economy, to rebuild a national security, to rebuild military strength. Listen, all we can do, it's out of our hands. All we can do is pray. Throw those prayer hands in the chat.
That is it.
And then actually pray.
And I think it boils down to like with Putin ping, the Peckerwood in North Korea, Iran, ISIS, all of that is the question is does your crazy match Trump's crazy? And the answer is a resounding no. It's just like cockroaches when the lights turn off. They go, the light's been off in America for 4 years now. And so they've been able to give free reign, do whatever they want. I mean, when you give Iran billions of dollars and you allow Putin to, just go anywhere he wants, whenever he wants, and however he wants, you allow North Korea to fire missiles across Taiwan's butthole, and nothing happens. The lights have been off for 4 years. Well, guess what? The lights turned on yesterday, and you notice the world's got real quiet in the last 24 hours.
I agree with you 100%, Todd. I think Trump should go in there and just tell Putin and Zelensky, like, look, Z, we need our money back that Biden gave you guys. All the money laundering they were doing. Or I'll tell Putin to step aside and I'll show him how it's done. I'll just go in there and just whack the crap out of you guys unless I get my money back.
Yeah, well, it was
really what it is. I mean, nobody can withstand an attack from the U.S. and just give us our money back. Everything will be cool, man.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. Yep. Well, and Trump made the statement when he was president last time. There was two tribes that were terrorist organizations at war with each other, and the reporters were asking him, why is not America getting involved? And he's like, they're killing each other. Like, they're doing us a favor, So I don't look, stay away from Israel. Other than that, have fun.
Yeah. Really what it is. I mean, it's like one of those things where you're walking by and you see two guys fighting in the back alley. You're not gonna jump in there and say, "Here, man, here, let me break you guys." Just let them go until whoever doesn't get up anymore say, "Okay, man, the fight's over. Let's go. Let's get out of here."
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, this has been an expensive proxy war. I love what Trump said yesterday when asked about some other things concerning like Israel and Gaza. He goes, "It's their war. It's not my war. Like, it's not our war. It's their war." And that's been true in Ukraine. But we've treated that like it's our war, right? We've treated Ukraine like that was our deal.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I almost feel like, to your point, Tony, I almost feel like Trump's got to step in there and like grab them by the collar and be like, "All right, boys,
yep,
that's enough.
Exactly. Yep.
Separate
that's
them.
enough of this.
Mm-hmm.
That's enough of this." And again, we don't have time to get into all the craziness that is, the proxy war between Russia and Ukraine, because
Daddy's
I could go
back,
off
boys.
on that for a while.
Everybody get back to your corners.
Yeah. I mean, let's relax here. I want to tell you about our friends over at the Wellness Company. Give them some support over there by supporting yourself. They want to tell you that the great quademic is on the way, the avian flu, the H1N1, and I don't know, hemorrhoids. Everything that can go wrong with you is going to go wrong with you if Big Pharma has its way. Because let me tell you something about Big Pharma. They don't want you dead. They want you dependent. And so you might as well take your health into your own hands, and they will help you over at the Wellness Company if you visit twc.health/Graham. And then you use code GRAHAM, GRAHAM at checkout. They'll save you some money on this thing. Because I'll just tell you, people say, well, these are expensive. And I was like, they're worth every penny. I can't tell you how many times in the last couple of years I have used my wellness kit when something hits. You know how you wake up in the middle of the night, 2 in the morning, pharmacies are closed, you can't get over there, you can't get to the doctor, you can't get that prescription called in, or God forbid something like a pandemic hits and you can't get your supply chain going because your prescriptions come from China. And guess what? Your prescriptions do come from China. You want to be able to reach into your own kitchen cabinet or your medicine cabinet, pull out this emergency medical kit. It's got things like amoxicillin in it. It's got the generic Z-Pack in there. You can also get, if you're really into preparedness, you can get the contagion kit. You can get the radiation kit. You can get the children's kits. Got some chewables in there and things like that.
Flintstone vitamins for everybody.
Yeah, buddy, I'm telling you what, they got it, dude. And you know, we used to be we couldn't even talk about ivermectin. Now you need to be stocked up on ivermectin. Everybody from Chris Cuomo to Joe Rogan to everybody says you got to be taking that ivermectin. You know, it's almost like Dr. Malone and Peter McCullough were right all along. And guess what? They were. So twc.health/Graham and use promo code Graham, save a little money. But come on, guys, your health is worth it. Take care of your family. Get a wellness kit. Get them all. Save up. Get them. And again, you may not ever use them, but you got them, and I hope you do have them. All right, twc.health/Graham. Oh, boys. Trump like the Time magazine cover, Trump just wiped the slate. Like what he did day one, amazing. Just amazing how he went in there unapologetically. And let me tell you something, that inauguration speech yesterday, Biden and Harris had to just sit there and take it. Just take it. I mean, it was one big finger to their administration.
The whole time.
And, you know, Joe didn't know where he was. Yes, everybody's seen the viral clip now where Barron Trump goes over and says something to Biden, and Biden's smile just erases, and how everybody goes, oh, Barron would never say anything disrespectful. He's such a young gentleman. I don't know that he is.
Barron's still a Trump.
He's a Trump.
He's still a Trump. I mean,
he got a little attitude about him. I've seen it. Yeah, I think that Barron he slipped a few choice words in there.
Hold up.
Yeah, if you got that clip, I mean, whatever he said, the message was dadgum received.
Yes.
Watch Joe's face right here. I mean, he's smiling. There's Barron, 6'9". He went for something. I mean,
I'll tell you what he said. He said, "Mr. President, you effing suck."
Yeah, look at that face right there. It looks like he's about to cry, man. He's like,
well, here's the thing. In Barron's mind, and in a lot of people's mind, it was this administration's fault that almost got his dad killed.
yeah.
And they raided Barron's room. I mean, they rummaged through this kid's underwear drawer. Looking for what?
Yeah.
Biden's weaponized DOJ rummaged through this kid's sock and underwear drawer. You know, and I would have a little bit of a grudge too.
I'm hoping that he said, "You should have pardoned yourself." That's what I'm hoping he said.
Put in the chat what you think he said to Joe. Keep it PG, reasonably 13. Put in the chat what you think he said. I just think that he slipped a little deal in there. But again, the controversy that happened yesterday, Elon Musk, who I got a strong opinion on this little clip right here. Elon Musk spoke at the Trump parade, which of course was indoors at the Coliseum. And everybody says he gave a Trump salute. So apparently Elon is a Nazi. Right? That's what everything's blowing up with right now.
Yeah.
Play that clip.
So this first clip, this is the video that everybody showed. CNN, MSNBC, PBS. This is what everybody showed.
And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you.
So that is what everybody showed, and this is what actually you know it's kind of like, and I tell you guys all the time, it's kind of like the Bible. Okay, you can't just take one verse in one chapter in one book and pull it out and go, yes, let's do this, because that leads to no makeup. Women can't wear pants and all kind of crazy stuff. Read the verse before and the verse after, okay, to get context. So this is actually the whole clip.
And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you. My heart goes out to you.
There you go. So listen, we know. Here's what. I don't have his medical records, all right, but here's what we can assume, that Elon is socially awkward. He's probably on the spectrum in some kind of way, and that, in my opinion, that's my heart goes out to you. My heart goes out to you.
There's a clip that we'll steal for Todd right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks.
I mean, I understand what he was trying to do, but I just think it was misunderstood, and it was probably a poor choice on his part to do it. Because everybody associates it with the Hitler thing.
Yeah.
Would it have been my thing? I mean, it would have been just as easy to just raise up your hand in a fist. I mean,
yeah, but if you do that, then it's white power.
Well, true, but
Right.
Trump's
Like
always going like this. He always goes like this, and he points fingers. So,
guys, I can't disagree with any of that anymore, because this is bad. This is bad now. Even this is some kind of stupid.
White
They
power.
make this out to be, if I look at the camera and go, all right, Chad, love you, buddy. Everybody's like, oh my God, Todd's got a Klan robe hanging in his closet. I mean, so listen, he's on the spectrum. He was saying, my heart goes out to you. Leave it alone. And it's not like he's the first person to ever do this. Hello.
yeah.
They've all made that hand motion. Listen, it's a Roman salute, first of all, and I'm not excusing the fact that I agree with you, Tony. This was a poor choice. Shouldn't have done it. I want to remind everybody this is a South African. I want to remind everybody that he does have Asperger's. I want to remind everybody that he's a pretty awkward and passionate person. We've seen that. It was a poor choice. I mean, so was Tony Hinchcliffe's joke about Puerto Rico at the Trump rally. Again, that was just not the time or place to do something like that.
Right.
He should have been smart enough to know that this was going to backfire if you do something like that. Right. But let me just allay some fears. He's not a Nazi. I mean, you could say, oh, my God, he's showing us who he really is. Okay, either I've heard people online forever say he's placed by the Zionists, that the Jews placed Elon Musk where he is. So which is it? Is he placed by and controlled by the Zionists, or is he a Nazi?
Make up your
mind. Both.
Make up your mind.
You literally can't have both. So which one is it? I mean, the guy gets passionate. He throws out a Roman salute, does the deal. They're going to look at everything they can, and they love saying, oh, see, we've told you. They're showing our real colors. Was it a poor choice of hand motion? Yeah. But what have I always said? In a free market of ideas where there's critical thinking, you don't have disinformation, misinformation, or hate speech, and that includes hand motions, okay? Because you should be able to deduce. I know Todd, when he throws up, the okay thing, he's not a white supremacist. I can deduce that. I can deduce from Elon Musk. He's not a Nazi. Right. So, I mean, this is the same guy, by the way, just, again, more proof. This is the guy that 2 weeks ago everybody was pissed at because he was defending H-1B visas for people who were coming here from India and basically said, blank your face, we're going to keep hiring these people. So if he is a Nazi, tell me why in the world he's so adamant about defending the hiring of people from India. So, again, these people make very poor fascists, if that's what you really want to think they are.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
It's insane. So, again, that's critical thinking. You ask yourself, where am I wrong? Where am I wrong? If I think this is a Hitler salute, where am I wrong on that? It doesn't line up. The guy doesn't do Nazi things. So.
Not at all. And my whole thing behind it is, do you really want the guy that, like, the only person in history that has made a rocket fall from the sky and be caught, with loving arms? Do you really want that guy to leave?
Yeah.
No, I want that guy here because, I mean, we according to Trump, we've got an Iron Dome to build. We've got a lot of technological things that we've got to get done in the next 4 to 8 years. And I'm sorry, but I want the smartest man on the planet hiring the best and the brightest to assist with all of that.
Yeah, and again, I want to say, because there's a lot of people who come in here and they're like, "What in the world's Chad doing here?" Listen, Graham's in D.C. Okay, we're holding down the fort. I know you guys haven't been here for the last 2 weeks, but welcome to the chat.
Graham changed his look. He's right there.
Yeah, exactly. I just want to say again to you guys, I don't 1,000% trust Elon Musk because I don't trust anybody that inserts themselves into every single conversation. There's a lot of things Elon Musk has done that I don't agree with. I don't agree with transhumanism. I don't believe with cerebral chips. I don't believe, in a lot of things that he's pushed. But again, he enabled us to have a free speech platform on X, which was a tremendous blessing. And so you have to weigh in the balances. But is he a Nazi? No.
No, I mean,
if he is, he's the worst one ever.
That hand gesture he did, yes, was in poor taste. I don't care, honestly.
It was in poor taste.
Yeah, it was in poor taste. I don't care. I mean, obviously, he showed his true colors. Now, he did a 180 with going against Trump, and this time around, he did so many rallies with him. He is looking towards the future of America and trying to help Trump make America great again, be the powerful, be a safe country. So yeah, I mean, I don't care what he does with his hands.
Not at all.
I mean,
and to close the book on this particular subject, I don't need an answer to this question, but for everybody in the chat and anybody that can hear me, do you really think Trump would have won without Elon jumping on board?
It'd have been hard.
Oh, yep, it would have been really tough.
It'd have been very, very hard.
That's all I'm saying.
Which is, again, we don't need to get back into the TikTok argument, but if TikTok can be redeemed or transformed or changed, hey, let's get every platform we can. There were a lot of people who were upset because Mark Zuckerberg was in the room and Jeff Bezos. It does scare me a little bit that these overlords of technology are in the room, and whatever they're going after, I don't know. But if we can redeem those platforms and get them to a point where we can get them rocking and rolling, where we can use it for a free speech platform. Graham is on record as saying it. I'm on record as saying it, and I think we all agree. Let's use them. We don't have to trust Mark Zuckerberg. But, man, if we could get that platform working. Somebody said Graham's in the chat. Everybody put a GA out there. GA,
hey,
we
Graham.
love some GA. Graham Allen, baby, rocking and rolling, freezing his butt off in D.C., excellent picture last night with the new. All we're waiting for is that Senate confirmation, that Senate vote for Pete Hegseth to be the Secretary of Defense, and that was a great picture of you and him last night, Graham. So GA in the chat, everybody. Make sure that you're liking and sharing this episode. Tell your friends and families. Come on.
He did text us earlier. He said, "Tell everybody I said hi." Plus, I'm gonna do my little inner Graham right now because you wrote something in there. He said people freaking over Elon are morons, but he would say it like this: people freaking over Elon are morons. You're idiots. So, there you go, Graham. Welcome back.
Yeah, dude. I mean, nobody can say it like Graham. Somebody said yesterday that I'm trying to imitate Graham. Can't nobody imitate Graham. You can't do it. Ain't nobody got that kind of energy. I'd have a stroke. Ain't nobody got that kind of energy, man. But we miss you, buddy, and safe travels for you. I don't even know when y'all are traveling, but safe travels for you and Royce, man. You guys have had a fantastic time. I'll be honest with you. Yesterday, I had a little FOMO. I was missing out, dude. I saw a lot of friends, a lot of pictures of friends doing fun things, and I was sitting here watching a stupid football game last night. But yeah, wow, man. Oh, we got. The Trump, I love the whole thing, dude. This border deal was a big deal yesterday, and it amazes me because we talked about this yesterday. It amazes me how quickly, with the stroke of a pen, you can get something done about this. And Trump terminated, this whole thing in respect to the southern border, United States. Redirection of funds diverted to the border wall construction. He's going to get this done.
Yeah. It's going to happen.
He is going to get this thing done, and you'll notice Texas is closed for business. I mean, they were they were stopping them right there in El Paso. They had those guys out there. I talked with a lot of Border Patrol friends yesterday, and they are ecstatic about what's happening because now these men and women can go do their jobs. Do we have that clip right there where you can hear them on the megaphone?
Yeah.
Play that clip.
Coming up.
Beyond this point will result in the arrest, prosecution, and possible application of force. Advertencia. Esta es una área restringida federal, fuera de los límites de personal no autorizado. La entrada o el movimiento no autorizado más allá de este punto dará lugar a la detención, al procesamiento y la aplicación posible de la fuerza.
There you go.
All right, Tony, what did he just say?
He said in not so many words, you guys are effed. Turn around and go back. Yep. Turn around and go back. Yep.
Turn around and go home.
Good enough for me.
Yep.
Good enough
Get back
for me.
to the house.
Yep.
Go back to the hacienda.
And I mean, and there's a bunch of clips coming out of people on the border. I don't know if you have that, Todd, of people crying and
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah.
I mean, seriously, how, can we go to any country and sit on the border and, you know, trying to get in without passports, without the proper paperwork and start crying like, oh my gosh, we can't get in? No.
Try that in Australia.
Yeah, we have to do the proper thing is, you know, you travel to any foreign country, take your passport, and a lot of times if you don't have a return flight, they won't let you into their country because they don't want you in the country for good. You have to go there with a not with a return flight, or else they will not let you in.
Yeah, and the other thing that you're seeing, I mean, there's a massive difference from the people using forklifts to lift the razor wire, the concertina wire so they could crawl under there. And again, there was another thing that came out that they said, you know, the part of it was if you get caught or deported and you're here illegally, you're not getting a visa back in here. That's a work visa or anything else for like 20 years.
Yeah.
So what you're doing is now seeing self-deportations.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are work visas for people to come in legally, but they're saying you're not even going to get that. I mean, if you go down to Laredo, Texas, and there's bridges down there, walking bridges, where people used to come across. They would work in the U.S. and then they'd go home. But that whole deal's been abused, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you go down to South Texas, you go down to Del Rio, you go down to Laredo, you go down to El Paso, that's culture. I mean, people that grew up on the Texas border or northern Mexico border, you're back and forth, back and forth. We used to go across all the time and have some good times, man. Not anymore. Not anymore.
To be a fly on that wall.
I wouldn't go down there with Tony now.
No.
So, you know,
with me, with me, why? I mean, I don't understand what's the reference there, Chad? What are you talking about?
I don't
you're
trust
Mexican.
You're Mexican. You might be able to guard me and protect me and know if I'm in trouble because I'm stupid. And if I'm down there by myself and somebody's saying something to me, I'll be like, yeah, another cerveza. And they're like, no, we're going to cut your head off.
No, first thing that would happen is I would sex traffic you like that. I would literally go over there and say, hey, man, how much for this dude right here?
Let me tell you something. I'm a desirable commodity.
That's what I'm
That's a
saying. That's what I'm
fact.
saying.
It's a fact.
I would
North
literally sell you for a
Mexico.
bag of chocolates. Here you go, take them.
Yeah, some bag of chocolates
And-
for some of my chocolate. But enough about that. We saw this happen. Where was it? There was a Border Patrol agent yesterday who got killed
in Vermont. Yep.
in Vermont.
Buying illegal. And this was my warning yesterday on Dear America and even on your show, Chad, is look, everything's shut down, and I've read several reports that now ICE is offering people $750 for the tip line. Like if you tell us where an illegal is being housed, where they are, they're putting out tip lines, trying to find all of these people, locate them. And you're gonna see more of this, unfortunately, because desperate times, desperate people, and we've seen train load after train load, bus load after bus load of military-aged males, not women and children and old people, no, military-aged males that came here with an agenda, and you're going to see more of this, unfortunately. So, again, I will say to you guys, to the 15,000 people that are in various chats right now, head on a swivel.
Yeah. These people are going to fight. I've said over and over again, if the government cheese ever dries up, you're going to have violence, because these people have been in 5-star hotels. They've been in homeless shelters. They've been in veteran centers. They have been given debit cards. They've been given food. They've been given basically visas to go anywhere they want to go in the country. If you go down to McAllen, Texas, the last few years, you'll see people walking around with a manila envelope that's got a thing on the outside that says, "I do not speak English. Help me get to my gate." And inside that is a ticket where they can go anywhere they want to go. All they do is have to name somebody that they're going to see. We have transported people all over the country. I did not agree. I understood the optics of it and the point he was trying to make, because I even joked about it when I campaigned in Texas, but it was a joke to make a point. But Greg Abbott busing illegals further into the interior of the United States, I didn't feel like that was a good idea to consistently do that. We saw what happened whenever Ron DeSantis sent them to Martha's Vineyard. I mean, they baked them oatmeal cookies and sent them on their way. And these people are everywhere. But so now that the government cheese is drying up, you're going to see violence.
Yes.
Because people are going to fight for their own survival. They came here on purpose. They didn't come here with the intention of going back home.
Yeah, what's the old saying? Human beings only like 2 or 3 missed meals away from like complete and total violence and desperation.
You got about 72 hours. You got about 72 hours before people get real desperate.
Yeah.
And once that happens, I mean, if the energy grid ever goes down, it's going to take about 72 hours for the bad guys to realize that you can't call the good guys, and they're going to come for your stuff. But that's true. When the cheese dries up, man, and you know you're on the run and you need to stay somewhere, and you don't want to go back home. And again, Tony, we talked about this yesterday. You brought up a great point about how a lot of people are here to make a better life for themselves. Mm-hmm. It's a humanitarian crisis.
It is.
But at the end of the day, you got to come legally. You got to come legally. Mm-hmm. So you mentioned that clip, Tony, of the CBP I can't talk, CBP app.
CBP One app. Yeah.
One app it's been deleted. It's gone. And so. Right. You know, here's a lady. She's crying. She's weeping. She's sad. Made the trek, and it's a deadly, dangerous trek. These people spend all their money. They get trafficked. They get separated from their families. They're paying coyotes. They're paying cartels. I mean, the thousands upon thousands of dollars. They're losing loved ones, losing lives, and this woman's crying. My heart goes out. This breaks my heart. But at the end of the day, you don't just open the border because somebody's shedding tears and they're sad.
Yeah, no. And I agree with you 100%. I mean, I'm not a heartless a-hole, and I do feel for these people because they are trying to make a better life. But we need to look at our own citizens. Like yesterday, I brought up the point that we have homeless veterans on the street that don't have places to live, don't have any food to eat, and we're putting more money into undocumented illegal immigrants come into our country than we are to our own citizens. I mean, my daughter's a social worker, and I've said this. I've had many conversations with her about our retired U.S. citizens that work their whole lives and they're living off of Social Security and they cannot make ends meet. Yeah. I mean, that is just BS that all of our citizens here are struggling to pay their bills, pay their rent, be able to afford food. Our people that are here that work their whole lives to make a life in this country, but we're giving away thousands, millions of dollars to people that are come over our border here illegally because of the administration and the way they want to run things, because they wanted to get votes. And all that's coming to an end. I'm sorry. I mean, I really do feel for these people, but it's not sustainable. We can't keep doing that.
I don't know. Hang on. Let me do this real quick.
Well, while you're doing that, Todd, let me make a point to Tony's as well before you make yours, before you give your disclaimer. Those tiers are on the Biden-Harris administration,
right?
Because I've spent a lot of time of my life in third world countries. And I've spent a lot of time in places like Honduras, Guatemala, Nicaragua, El Salvador. I spent a lot of time there. There's a lot of people out there. The message that was communicated to these people was that if they came, there would be an open border. Mm-hmm. There would be something waiting for them. The message travels. I mean, Guatemala's a long way from here. It's a long walk, but the message travels fast. Mm-hmm. And these people, so those tiers aren't on Trump. That's not Trump's doings. That's Biden's doings. And now that message is going to travel down there that says, don't come. Unlike Kamala Harris, who just simply said, don't come. No, now you got Border Patrol agents standing there with a megaphone enforce on the El Paso entry, saying, not going to happen. What were you going to say, Todd?
Yeah, so I'm sorry. I guess I am a heartless B word because zero F's given for that woman in that clip. And I mean not a one. But let me tell you why. Because looking at that clip, that woman is probably in her mid to upper 30s. Okay, you've had X amount of years to fill out the proper paperwork to get in this country the right way, and you choose to do it in an illegal way. I have no sympathy for you. I have none. I'm sorry, I don't. Do it the right way. It's not that we don't want you here. We do. We want the best and the brightest and the hardest workers all over the world. But we want you here legally. We want you to file for citizenship. We're asking you to speak our language, to adhere to our standards. That's all we ask to do. And there's not a country on this planet that doesn't ask the same thing. Go try to do it in Poland. They'll shoot you.
Yeah, no, and I agree with you to a point, Todd. Yeah, but there, and I see what you're saying, and I do agree with you. These people, they do get at desperate times call for desperate measures. Obviously, they live in a country. I don't know if she's coming from Mexico, Guatemala, Venezuela. I don't know. I mean, it could be that she's working for pennies on the dollar, and her only avenue to make a better life for herself was trying to get into this country illegally. And yes, it's not the right way to do it. Obviously, I agree with you. I've been saying it for many shows. You have to go through the proper channels. Try to get a work visa. Try to get a work permit to come into the country to work. And they see an open border that the Biden-Harris administration did. And of course, you give somebody a free pass, they're going to walk through it. I mean, 99% of the people in this country would probably do the same thing if their family and their welfare was involved. But all that's coming to an end, and it did come to an end as soon as Trump closed the border. So we have to do things the right way.
All I'm saying is if they put as much effort into walking thousands of miles to cross a border illegally, to stay put, stand your ground, and fix your own freaking country, then I don't know, maybe you wouldn't have this problem.
Well, and I mean, I have no doubt. Well, I'd be, if I was willing to bet on this, I would say that was probably a lot of a staged photo op right there.
Agreed,
as
100%.
Well.
Now, she's probably from Indiana.
There are people who are truly dealing with this issue. I mean, this migration issue. But again, I don't want you here if you come here illegally. I'll just say that. I love everybody. I don't care who you are. I love people. I love people. I've been all over this world. I love people. Redneck is everywhere. Desperation is everywhere. The same human sin problem is everywhere. The fallenness, man's inhumanity to man. It's all. People deal with the stuff. But no, our country's got to have borders. We've got to have security. We've got to have a strong border, man. And you got to come here legally. We talked about it yesterday. You got 10 million that we know about that have crossed the border in the last 4 years, and it's probably way higher than that. Probably 18 to 21 million, arguably. So it's a bad situation. So I mean, I'm with you in the chat. I mean, you guys are like zero F's given. I can appreciate that attitude. I can appreciate that. While my heart breaks for certain people. I mean, if I lived, in cartel-run Mexico, I'd be trying to get my family out of there too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. But like the conversations that I have with people who are very left, or back in Oregon, I tell them the same thing. I was like, I feel for these people. I see that they want to come into this country, but you can't let everybody in and not expect to have bad people coming through our border at the same time. And we saw how many people that third world countries were emptying out their jail cells and letting them into our country. So now we have murderers and rapists and sex traffickers in our country because of the Biden-Harris administration. Yeah. We couldn't vet all those people, and that's my argument to them. We can't let all these people in because we feel like they need help trying to make a better life for themselves. And I get all that, but do it through the proper channels. Try to come in here with the work visa. Try to do it that way.
Right.
Because of all the bad people that are going to come in here. I can't imagine me up at night thinking of my 20-year-old who's going to college and she needs to stop somewhere and get gas at 10 o'clock at night, and all of a sudden she's being stalked by Pedro Martinez down the street over here because he's a sex trafficker. I mean, that keeps me up at night. I have apps on my phone. My wife and I both have apps on our phone, just keeping an eye on her, see where she's at, because we're worried about stuff like that. It's it's brutal, man. It keeps me up at night. I think about it all the time. So
any father of daughters or children for that matter, it should be a concern. And I will say this, and we got to move on. I will say this. you're going to get, to those of you listening, those of you watching, you're going to get every sad story floated in front of you in the next 6 months. I mean, they're going to try to tug at your heartstrings and make you believe that you're the worst person in the world because this person got deported or they had to go or they got persecuted in some kind of way. They're going to do everything they can. That is going to be their MO. You watch and see. We'll get to some more stuff. Hey, we're going to run a little long. You boys okay? Well, I'm good.
I'm
Y'all
good.
If everybody's good in the chat, we're good. We'll keep on going. Throw some American flags in there. I love to see those American flags. We are at day one, baby. Day one. But I want to tell you about our friends over at Patriot Mobile, man. You talk about people who love this country, love your values. They are America's only Christian conservative wireless company. And I don't know if you guys realize this or not, but whenever you pay your cell phone bill to the big three, a portion of your bill goes to leftist causes, things like Planned Parenthood and all of that stuff. And you don't want your money going to that. I mean, that's like your tax dollars going to Ukraine. You don't want it. Well, Patriot Mobile doesn't do that. They use the same cell tower, so you don't have to worry about coverage. And if you call them up on the phone at 972-PATRIOT, they will make sure you're talking to a person in the United States so you can understand what they're saying. And if you will head over to patriotmobile.com/Graham, and you can use promo code Graham. They'll do some things like give you free activation. They'll take care of our American first responder heroes. They will take care of our veterans, our active duty military. There's all kind of special deals over there. They guarantee you that they're going to have something that will fit your family's budget. They'll get you a new phone, get you a new number, or just switch everything you got around. Do whatever you need to do. But head over to patriotmobile.com/Graham. Glenn and his team over there will take care of you. These are good people, man. America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. And I'm telling you, if you believe in a parallel economy, Patriot Mobile's the way to go. patriotmobile.com/Graham. Use promo code Graham. All right. General Milley, they put a picture up of him, and now it's gone.
10 days ago. 10 days ago.
At the Pentagon, they put the official picture up of General Mark Milley.
And now it's gone.
It's not there anymore.
It's toast. Used to be in this area, not in this area no more.
Yeah. Do you I say court-martial this cat.
100%.
I mean,
I want to see his DD-214 with a big chicken dinner on it. I do.
This is the dude that telegraphed the moves in the Trump administration to China and basically said, hey, if something's going to go down, we'll let you know.
Yeah. And for those of you who don't know, and I know my vets in the chat do, a big chicken dinner is a bad conduct discharge, dishonorable. Get this dude out of here. He's a disgrace to the uniform. Period. Man,
Did he get a preemptive pardon?
he did. He got a pardon.
Yeah, but not from the UCMJ. He didn't. The Uniform Code of Military Justice still stands.
Yeah, he got the pardon from Biden, but he can still be court-martialed. And you know what? I want these people living in fear. I really do. I want them living in fear for what they did. They have been traitors to this country, and I don't use that term lightly. But you want to accuse people of being insurrectionists and seditious? These people have undermined the security of America. When you're on the phone with China and you're saying if we're going to do something, we're going to let you know. No. So I say give them what's coming to them. Trump, he erased Biden's orders. And you know what? There were people, so there were 78 Biden orders that were out there that got erased. I had a lot of people who were posting the thing up says, well, Trump just voted to increase drug prices on insulin and things like that with Medicare and Medicaid. He reversed Joe Biden's reduction in the pharmaceutical prices, and now we're not going to be able to afford it. Okay, dummy, let me explain something to you. When Trump was in office, he had the drug prices reduced. Joe Biden came in and reversed that. I mean, in some cases, they were nothing. Biden reversed that and had 3 pricing experiments that he was going to do that never got off the ground. So if you read the headlines of if you really critically thinking, read the headlines, it says his plans or what he was preparing to do. Joe Biden never lowered anything. So Trump, it was actually increasing the prices from where the Trump era was the first go around. Trump is reversing that, so now he can bring it back down. So all you people saying, oh, he's lining his pockets with big pharma. No, he's not. He's actually taking care of the American people and reducing costs. Be smarter than this, folks.
Come
Joe
on.
Biden didn't enact anything. They proposed something, but there were 3 pricing experiments. That's the key word, experiments, that they never enacted. They never got them off the ground.
And FYI, Trump was the one that started lowering the price of insulin because I use it every day. So I went through that whole process. He was the one that started, and he worked with pharmaceutical companies to bring the price of a vial of insulin down to $35 a month. And he was the one that started all that. But when Biden came into office, he took the credit for it. He came out and he said that he worked with the pharmaceutical companies, but that was all Trump. Trump was the one that started that whole process, or else, I mean, it could have been that insulin was still $175 a pop. So, yeah, do your research,
sort of like
people.
getting hostages released. I mean, Biden likes to step in and
exactly like that.
Yeah, sort of like taking credit for things. Trump was, of course, he was there in the auditorium there. What was that? Capital One. What was that? What's the name of that auditorium there?
Capital One.
The Capital One Center, and he was signing the executive orders, and then he's got the pens. He's tossing them out there to the crowd. Normally, like if an artist comes out on stage and like you're at a concert and they throw a hat or something like that, or if I catch a foul ball at a ball game, like I would hand that to a kid.
Yeah, no, I'm fighting for this pen.
No, the pen, we're going to the mattresses over the
this
pen.
Is mine.
We're
This
about
is
to
mine.
fight over this pen. What a great thing. So he was tossing them out there. We were watching this live last night, and I'm like, Trump, he's just cool, dude.
Man, I
like
know.
he just does neat things.
Yeah,
and
100%.
so I use the word neat. But he ordered that the federal workers are going to get back to the office. They haven't been in there. A lot of federal workers, again, COVID rules, they just decided to work from home, and they stayed there. There were a lot of people, we were talking about this yesterday, and a lot of people were like, well, I appreciate the fact that I can work from home. You're not a federal worker.
Yeah.
You're not paid for with taxpayer dollars, okay? We're not talking about your convenience. We're talking about federal workers. So he said, you got to get back. We got to go back to work. And I think once we get in there, I think we can see what the Department of Government Efficiency can look at and truly audit and say, okay, we need to cut the fat here and get rid of some of these people that are useless bureaucrats.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you can do your job from home, do we really need you?
I mean, I'm just saying, I just know back when people were trying to pay their taxes during COVID and there was nobody in the IRS offices and they had truckloads of envelopes, and then the people would come in and there were reports of people just their tax returns just getting dumped in the trash because there was nobody there to process them. So it turned everything into a nightmare. And that's just one example. But, IRS is going away anyway. Oh, my gosh, I pray that the IRS goes away. What a nightmare. Oh, talk about not constitutional. But Trump's in the White House, man. That was an emotional moment. I was watching that last night when Trump came up in there. Play that clip. I love this, dude.
Donald Trump, the doors have opened. Back in the White House.
Look at that.
Come on, this is amazing. How many, Mike, you and I, 4 years
Daddy's
ago,
home.
all of us who were documenting the lawfare.
Yeah, no place like home.
God, Barron is
Who
huge.
predicted
Yeah,
this, Mike Davis? How many
Talking about
people
that
predicted
is-
this?
talking about Barron. I mean, Barron was stuck to him like
Yeah.
glue on the bottom of a shoe. I mean, are they doing that strategically? You think, or I mean, what do you think is going on there? Because Barron was sitting right behind him through the whole thing.
I'll
and he
tell
was
you this,
right by his
Tony.
side.
Back in 2015, I people who know me know I didn't understand Trump. Like, it didn't make sense to me. Like, I just didn't understand him as a candidate. I was like, what is the fascination here? But you know what won me over to Trump initially? And I mean, it just really made a powerful impact on me is how his children and grandchildren relate to him. Because if you're an evil man, if you're Joe Biden, your son's referring to you as Pedo Peter, there's a problem. Or if there's a speculation from your daughter about what you did with her in a diary, there's a problem.
Right.
But you don't have any of that stuff from Eric, Ivanka, or Don Jr. or Ashley. What's her name? I'm sorry, Tiffany. I was thinking about Ashley Biden. Tiffany. Gosh, I'm gonna stop talking. Tiffany Trump. The grandkids love him. I mean, Kai, who's such a beautiful
man.
young lady, she
Love
wants to
him.
get up there and support her grandfather. I mean, you watch the Republican National Convention and how those kids just want to be with him all the time. So I see that with Barron. I think Barron's very close to his dad,
Yep.
close to his mom as well.
Yeah.
So that's a good point.
Yep.
Good point. But he's home. He's home. Daddy's home. And then, of course, drill, baby, drill. I wore my old throwback Houston Oilers hat right here just for that with the oil derrick on it. The oil. Not a derrick. Oh, my gosh. We talked too much yesterday. I'm all talked out today.
Yeah.
Yep.
But, we're going to I love this. Tapping into Alaska's energy resources to fuel the nation's growth. Play that clip real quick. Booyah, baby, drill, baby.
Alaska,
drill.
sir. This is an
DBD in the
executive
chat.
order relating to unleashing Alaska's potential as an energy reservoir for the entire nation.
And what about ANWR?
I believe that would be included in aspects of the order.
So we're opening up ANWR.
On the TikTok piece, President Trump, you and your members of your team now used to warn about the dangers of TikTok spying on Americans. What changed that you're not worried about that anymore?
Well, it depends on the deal. I mean, I may not do the deal or I may do the deal. TikTok is worthless. Worthless. If I don't approve it, it has to close. I learned that from the people that own it. If I don't do the deal, it's worthless. Worth nothing. If I do the deal, it's worth maybe $1 trillion. $1 trillion. So if I do the deal I'm talking about doing it for the United States. If I do the deal for the United States, then I think we should get half.
Can you imagine Joe Biden trying to sign executive orders and
talk
answer
at the same time?
questions
Yeah.
from a reporter? It just
Well,
this is a different deal, man. It's
corn
a different
pop.
administration, baby.
Lick 'em.
Uncle Bozy and Corn Pop, and I mean whatever cast of characters that are floating around in Joe's head. I mean, he couldn't. Yeah, you're gonna hit your head with that camera. This guy, Trump is in his element, dude. He is in his element, and I'm excited about this. Drill, baby, drill. Put the DBD in the chat. Oh, like this episode. I'm trying to look. I don't know how many likes we got on this thing. How many likes did we get on yesterday?
786 right now.
We got to do more
today's.
than that. We got to have at least 1,500 likes. We got to double that.
There's
Those are
8,000
amateur
of you
numbers.
in the chat on the Dear America channel. Stop what you're doing. Just take a break. Slide over.
And
Hit that like button. It's not hard. Doesn't cost you anything. Hook a brother up.
We demand so many things of y'all. But Daddy Graham's going to come home. And he's going to be like, where's the likes?
That's true. We're going to get reprimanded.
We're going to get
from
in
you guys.
trouble,
Yes.
y'all.
Yeah.
We're going to get in trouble.
Do you guys not like me? Do you not want to put just a like? Do it for me, please. I don't ask anything of you guys. Please just hit the like button.
Tony will get deported, y'all. Come on.
Yes, if I don't get enough likes, they're gonna come get me. Yes, they said we'll see how many likes you have, or else we're throwing your ass out.
I gotta tell you though, what you guys have built, Graham and Royce and Todd and Tony, what you guys have built with this Dear America family is amazing to me. I mean, I've been doing podcasting for almost 11 years, dude, and what you guys have built with this audience is fantastic. I love seeing it. You guys are awesome out there. So click like and share the DBD. Put it out there because Graham collects these likes like crypto, man. I mean, he gotta have them. You gotta have them.
Look at that! It jumped up to 1,000 like in
It's beautiful.
nothing. Good job, guys. Thank
You guys are
Love you
awesome.
guys.
Now I could stay in the country. Thank you.
Well,
I
hold up.
appreciate it.
Don't count your chickens.
That's true. Yep.
We don't know. You're still on the bubble, baby. Let's talk about this J6, the pardons. I mean, this excited me. I think more as much as anything. The J6 pardons because, excuse me, we had he said 1,500. 1,500 pardons. He was going to look at some others as far as commutations. I was blessed last night watching X and how many people were posting things saying, I got my pardon. I talked to my attorney after all these years, this heavy cloud. I know a lot of those people. I know a lot of people who were driving over to the jails and to the detention centers and even the prisons to pick these people up when they got released. There was some problems with, there were protests at the prison there in the detention center in D.C., people not wanting them released. I hear that Nancy Pelosi had quite the meltdown over these pardons. And there were people who weren't being released. So, Todd, put up there whatever you want to put up there on this deal.
A lot of controversy over that happened last night over this particular thing. We got a few clips to show about it, and then we will discuss. So this is Trump signing the executive action pardoning the J6 hostages.
Mutations in there where we're doing further research. Nice to see you again.
Trump's signing the deal.
So this is a big one.
Promises made, promises kept.
About this? We hope they get them. We hope they come out tonight, frankly.
Yes.
They're expecting it. Approximately 1,500 people. Six commutations.
Were there any cases you did not commute or part of people?
We're looking at different things, but the commutations would be the ones that we'll take a look, and maybe it'll stay that way.
Yeah, exactly. So 1,500, three commute sentences commuted, and of course, I mean, you had a whole bunch of mouth breathing, rock with lips outside the jailhouse protest, and it's a minute clip. I'm not playing the whole thing because this makes me want to punch a baby. So. Like, they're there literally hollering screaming at these people. And let me just add that one of the individuals that was released last night was a former military officer that had been awarded the Purple Heart. Like, are we serious? That's what we do now?
Take them all the way back to the curb.
All the way across. Yes, across the street, across.
So as you can tell, they keep hollering and screaming, keep them in, lock them down. But the most troubling thing of the night, and I actually saw last night on Twitter where Charlie Kirk, Elon actually got involved with this, and a few people even contacted the Marshal Service over the D.C. Whatever you want to call them, prison, jail, whatever.
Release system?
Yeah, these Pecker Woods right here. So listen, I'm gonna turn it up so y'all can hear this because I know we have people on audio. So
I'm giving you literally all I got. But no more are going to be released tonight. Okay, and tomorrow is a brand new day. We'll see what tomorrow brings. Okay, I'll probably be here with you. Okay.
It's a violation.
Don't release them after the law, right?
No, I was told no more tonight.
No more tonight.
No more tonight. It's illegal. Okay.
We trust you.
And tomorrow, I don't know. Okay. And that's the best I got for you.
Can you tell us the condition of the prisoners?
Nope. I'm sure they're fine.
We just worry that you release them after we left.
No. The commander has assured me no more being released tonight.
yeah, so they just stopped. You know, I mean, President Trump signed the pardon, and that should have been a done deal. That should have been the end of it. And they just said, no, we're not going to do it. We're going to release as many as we want right now. We're not going to release any more. And it could be for various reasons. I don't know. We're going to have to see how it plays out for the remainder of today because this was last night. But yeah, like Elon, Charlie, a lot of people, a lot of big time names got involved with this last night because this organization just violated Trump's order and defied Trump's order there. And that's in D.C.
And I never want to talk bad about the boys in blue. I love all the boys in blue. I mean, they're, I support all police officers. And I would like to think that the orders aren't coming from these people. They're coming up from the higher ups. So the higher ups need to take some responsibility for what's going on because they're defying the executive order that Trump just signed. They should have let all of them out. They shouldn't have spent one more second in jail. I mean, pardons were done. Let them out. I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, I think somebody needs to be investigated. Whoever said no, we're not letting any more of the prisoners out. They need to be put on trial. Put something needs to happen there because that's BS, man.
Yeah, and to the chat that I just saw, and Little Mama Lee, you're absolutely right. That's why I showed the protest video before this one. It could have been for their own safety. You know, I mean, you've got somebody that's been sitting in basically solitary confinement for the last 3 to 4 years. Obviously, you know, their strength is probably not up. They're probably physically, emotionally, mentally exhausted and not prepared to walk into a crowd of people that hate them. Some may be willing to do harm to them. So maybe it was strategic. I don't know. We're just going to have to just chill out, wait, and see what happens today and on in tomorrow.
Yeah, and I'm anxious to hear some of the stories. I think we're going to hear a lot as people are getting released and they've got the opportunity to talk about their experience. But these people have been held like hostages. I mean, this is not Guantanamo Bay, folks. This is not Cuba. So I don't, this guy, what I wish he was doing is not standing out here talking on the street to her. It's like, let me go in here and talk to somebody who knows instead of saying tomorrow's a new day. Let's get to the bottom of this. And let's figure out what we're supposed to be doing, because if I'm in his position and I've got that badge and uniform on, I don't want to be the one who's caught defying the president's orders.
Not at
in
all.
a situation like this.
Right.
So,
not at all.
But you make a fair point. I mean, there's circumstances. I mean, you're talking about 1,500 plus people that each one is in an individual circumstance. We got to figure out, who they are, where they are, what they're going through, what's happening, we saw the image of the person being brought out on the stretcher. We don't know. There's speculation, but we don't know. What was the situation surrounding all of that? I know that our minds tend to rush to the worst case scenario of that, but I know that these people have been mistreated. No one is in jail for insurrection. Nobody's ever been charged with insurrection. I mean, the DOJ was picking up dudes that were, Enrique, who was the head of the Proud Boys, who I heard got out last night. He wasn't at the Capitol. He wasn't even in D.C. And they arrested him, and then, that's how stupid it is. I mean, they were triangulating cell phones for a dude that was taking a piss on a tree a quarter mile from the Capitol. I mean, absolutely ridiculous, this stuff. And no, to some people's questions, there's a lot of misinformation out there about them releasing the people who got arrested for praying outside of the Planned Parenthood, the pro-life protesters that were arrested. I don't know that any of them have been released. I don't think any of them have, so we need to keep praying about that.
Yeah, for sure.
But there's a lot of misinformation out there that those people had been released. Brianna Morello actually reported on that last night, talked to a number of people, and they're still in jail. And that needs to be dealt with as well. So
Immediately.
John Bolton, good news, more good news. His security clearance has been revoked. Thank you, President Trump.
Yeah, we don't trust you to have a credit card now, Johnny.
Which I don't understand after you've been terminated from your position at the White House in 2019 and you write a book with all this sensitive information in it. Why do you still have a security clearance at all?
Because once you get a DOD clearance, it lasts
Is that the deal?
it lasts for so long. Like when I retired in 2018, I still had 4 years left on my clearance. So,
oh man, we could have used that.
I know, right? I mean, you want to know who really killed Kennedy?
Yes. Yeah, we could.
You'll find out. You'll find out in a couple days.
Show there, Todd.
Yeah. So there's an expiration date on your security clearance. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
As soon as you get separated from service or separated from government service within the Department of Defense, that doesn't automatically terminate your security clearance unless you do something that requires that, like obviously John Bolton has.
Yeah. We're headed in the final stretch, folks. Thanks for hanging with us. Click like, hit subscribe, share this thing. Make sure, if you're listening by way of audio podcast, if you're on Spotify or Apple or iHeart, whatever you're listening, go and click the thing where you can leave a rating, 5 stars. That's what Dear America deserves, and leave a review. It was so weird. I looked up the podcast rankings for news commentary, and my show and Graham's show, we were both ranked like 85 and 86. And I was like, well, that's awfully redundant. At least I'm consistent since I've been on the show. I mean, I've been, over here filling in for Graham. I'm like 85 and 86. Maybe I am consistent.
Hey, good job.
We would love it both for the Chad Prather show, Hot Seat,
buddy,
with Todd, Graham's show. Drive all of them
all
up the
up.
rankings. You do that by leaving the ratings and the reviews and telling us how much you love us. Vanity rankings, man. That way we can say to these guys, man, we're special. Our mamas might not love us, but man, y'all do.
Oh, you all are special.
The people do.
Ah, boy. Trump says he's gonna take care of California. He's gonna send some water over there.
I love this order title. It's the best one yet. Out of all the executive orders, this one had the greatest title. Putting people over fish.
I have missed Trump for the comedic value alone, dude. This guy's so funny, bro. Did you ever notice how, Trump never laughs, but he always says funny things?
I
and
know,
then Kamala
man.
Harris has never said anything funny, and she
just
can't stop
cackles.
laughing.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is funny. So and then the bounce up and down for Kamala.
Yeah,
Nobody thinks you're that funny.
Yeah, not at all.
But then here's a fun clip. Here's Trump being Trump, man.
He has a new dance, man. He's got a new dance.
Got the cake, got the Marine saber out there. Let her rip. Play
This
that
is
sucker.
my favorite clip of the entire show. So here we go. With the saber. Yes, sir. And look at Melania's face. I don't know how the Air Force, like the airmen, are not dying right here. Like there's no way I'd keep a straight face.
I mean, even Melania, who basically never smiles, is smiling. I just tell you, if I danced like that, no one would ever date me.
Ever.
Which nobody dates me anyway, but that's
just swinging it around. Now it's a golf club. I mean, it's awesome, man. It's awesome. I mean,
wow,
man, is there any better? I mean, hello.
That's amazing.
Did
Dude.
did not just make your morning so much better right there?
So good.
Just watching how much energy they have, man, throughout the day. I mean, that's crazy. They were up at what time do you think they got up? Like 3 in the morning,
Dude.
4 in the morning?
Yeah, man.
I mean, I guarantee you Trump hadn't been asleep yet.
No.
He's unbelievable, dude. I mean, like, we would wake up every morning in the first administration. We would wake up, and it was like Santa Trump had visited Twitter, and we were so excited to see what he had to say. You just knew that his little orange rear end was sitting on the toilet in the West Wing of the White House, tweeting things out, saying, Melania, you're going to want to read this one. Wait till it pops up. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be amazing. Spray tan just dripping down the commode, and he's just tweeting at 4 in the morning.
Yeah, don't care.
Love it.
Yeah, that's true.
I love the Trump dance
Little
in the
Mama
chat.
Little Mama Lee just commented on the cake. That cake did look awesome. She's a baker.
did,
She said
yeah.
that cake was just
Now I want cake. Let them eat cake. And then of course this was a beautiful thing. Melania's so gorgeous. She's just, just a
Elegance.
classy deal, elegant. That will they put her on the cover of Vogue or Vanity Fair? No, they won't, because it's left us Riri rags. But here was the first dance. It was beautiful. Look at him. Love it, love it, love it. I'm a little partial, but I like it. I love it. And most of the time she could probably just smack him.
Oh, yeah.
It's still a marriage, folks. The stuff this woman has been through.
Oh, man.
Oh, and she was, I'm telling you, I saw yesterday in that inauguration outfit with the hat on. It was very very
I Spy-ish.
It was very anonymous. It might have been Dark Melania. We've seen Dark MAGA. I think that was Dark Melania. She was casting the daggers with those eyes. Boy, howdy. Thank you guys for hanging in with us. We're going to get to the super chats here in a minute. You know what, guys? Before we get out of here, I want to make sure that you guys are following Mex_I_Can Tony on all the places. And then, of course, at Todd Spears 1776. Follow Graham as well. And our Dear America on Instagram. I'm at Watch Chad, the most vain title ever. It sounds like an OnlyFans. Watch Chad on Instagram as well.
There are pictures of it. You need to follow. There are pictures of his feet.
They're out there. They're out there on
Really?
WikiFeed. That's called Wiki Gross. Wiki
I might
Gross.
have to check that out. I might have to check that
No,
out.
you don't want to see.
You don't. It looks like a
You
koala
don't
bear
wanna
stepped
see
in
that,
dog.
man. Before we get out of here, we head over to the super chats. Can I pray for us today?
Absolutely.
I just want to pray for us.
Please.
I'm thankful for it, guys. So thankful for this Dear America family. Father, in the name of our Lord, we thank you for our country. We thank you for our freedoms. We thank you for our ability to speak and think and just to get up every day and move about with knowing full well that you are not only our God, but you are our King and you are in control. So we declare that Jesus is Lord of our lives. You are our Savior. You're our Redeemer. And we thank you that we have inherited a kingdom which cannot be shaken while all other things in this world shake. And so, Father, we pray that your kingdom come and your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Let that happen in our lives. Let it happen in our country. We pray a special hedge of protection around Donald Trump and his family and J.D. Vance and his family and these other cabinet members. And Lord, we pray for those that you have placed over us with that delegated authority, recognizing that all authority ultimately comes from you and you alone. So we submit to you, we submit to your will, we submit to your way, and we thank you for every person in this audience. We pray blessings over them. We pray that everything their hand touches will prosper, and they will prosper and be in health even as their soul prospers. And we believe these things in the mighty name of our Lord Jesus. Amen.
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 There were a lot of people yesterday who were upset about Trump not putting his hand on the Bible. There's been numerous occasions, though, by the way, of presidents not putting their hand on the Bible. I think that Chief Justice John Roberts rushed it, and that was the deal. Melania wasn't up there and set yet, and so Trump just went with it. But again, the Bible was represented, whether his hand was on it or not. And there's a lot of arguments that could be made back and forth.
People
are
find
going
an
to
excuse.
nitpick. They're going to
find
nitpick
an
everything.
excuse. They'll find an excuse.
I mean, if he wasn't going to put it, if he didn't care about it, the Bible wouldn't be present. It wouldn't be there. So anyway,
this is a man that sold Bibles during the election. So calm down, people. Calm down. So
great
here we go.
point. Fantastic point. You
Let's
can
get
still
into
get a
this.
Trump Bible.
From Freedom Lemons, I think the pardon can be revoked if we find out Biden stole the election in 2020. Also, was Pete confirmed? Yeah, but that's not going to happen. Pete hasn't been confirmed yet. He was approved by the Senate Arms Committee, so it still has to go before everybody else. From Striker J, we saw MAGA Dark, DJT Dark, Elon. Did we see the entrance of Dark Melania yesterday? Who, goodbye prostitute, goodbye cry family, hello freedom and prosperity, blessings to all, DBD, CLC.
Wow.
Good
Thanks, Jay.
Lord.
Good job, Jay. Did I see in the thing that Jay had to go to the hospital or something like that last night?
I didn't see.
I didn't see that.
I don't know if I saw that. It just scrolled by me there earlier in the thing. If so, prayers for you, my brother.
For
prayers
real.
for Striker Jay or whatever that situation is. We'll find out.
Yeah. From Mystified Wanderer, I want to share some good news. After almost a year, the VA finally approved me 80% service-connected disability, 2 injuries pending review. Good luck with that. And I can't say publicly. I can get you the extra 20, so message me on my Instagram, and I will tell you how to do it. Mystified Wanderer. It's a very simple process.
Todd is a guru.
I am a VA guru. From Mamoose. With pardoning individuals prior to any trials or sentencing, wouldn't that be along the same lines of insider trading? How do they have the inside info, incriminating issues, or just spidey sense? I think we covered this already. It has been done before. It's nothing new. It's just very unusual. But yeah, I think you're right. There, Mamoose.
Yeah. Striker Jay said that he broke his finger, had a torn tendon. Sorry, buddy.
Dang.
That stinks.
Stop giving people the finger, man. Like,
where you been putting that
put
finger,
that thing
bro?
down.
Chad,
Good Lord.
You got to stop at the first knuckle, pal.
Oh my gosh.
And we should pray again.
Yes.
Hey, Lord
Blood of
Jesus.
Jesus, blood of Jesus,
blood
blood
of
of
Jesus.
Jesus.
Blood of
Yes.
Jesus. Good Lord. From Whitney Hill, 0715. Rule number 1, in narcissistic behavior, accuse others of what you're doing, then play the victim when they get caught.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, there you go. Debweth, 17. We Floridians have been trying to figure out how to get Rubio out of the Senate seat for years. Trump figured it out. Now he can just fire him. All right, Dan.
I still don't know what I think about old Marco, but, you know, there he is.
I need to do some research on that. I don't know why people don't like Marco.
I actually like this next statement. The Pickled Squirrel. Anyone else have He's Still Your President by Chad Prather as your ringtone? I knew I kept it for a reason.
I trotted that song out yesterday and put it on a story. So you could still get He's Still Your President. It is, I think, my number 4 all-time most downloaded song. During the election, I think it popped back up to number 1. So He's Still Your President. That's a fun one that I did with Ryan Weaver. I wrote that thing in Montgomery, Alabama, in a rental car, driving down to Troy, Alabama. And Striker J did break his middle finger. So
he did.
Attaboy.
Yep.
That way to
Good job.
Flip people off all day is what he
So now you can keep it straight in a splint.
Yeah. From Whitney Hill again, he said, "You're fired.
You're fired.
You're fired.
You're fired."
Gone.
Jeff Wallace, 991. Barron leans into Biden. You smell like failure. That's a good one too. That's a good one too. Here we go from a very great username. Todd Hub fan, I'm glad you found my name humorous yesterday. I only pick on people I respect. Wouldn't let me pick Megaphone Graham because he gets super loud. Tony, we missed you, and you need our Mexican bead dip.
We missed
that sounds pretty good, actually.
Man,
wow, that's
listen.
yeah.
Sounds pretty good.
Did
anybody have an inauguration party last night? We threw an inauguration party. We had a good time, but talking about the bean dip made me think about that because I had a little bit of it last night.
That's super racist, and I find it super amusing.
It's okay. You'll get over it.
Yeah, love it.
And
It's deliciously racist.
Todd Hub fan, I tell people all the time, like, if I'm not picking on you, then you should be worried.
That's true. That's true.
Lux Lawless 1. Kai Trump's granddaughter nods at Barron right before Barron says to smiling Joe Biden, "You're done." Joe Biden's smile drops.
I can tell you this. If we ever know exactly what Barron says, we will put that on a T-shirt.
Oh, 100%.
100%. That will be a Dear America T-shirt.
100%. 100%. And if we never find out, we just might make it
We'll
up and
make
put it on
something
one
up.
anyway.
We'll make it a bad lip reading.
Yeah, there you go. Todd Hub fan again. Also, welcome, Chad. Don't get to talk much because I am a trucker. Also, your thunder or wind sound you play on your stream startled me. Thought I blew a tire. Stay warm and safe. Sorry about that, man.
If you guys have followed me for any length of time, we pray for our truckers, man. They are what's flowing in the arteries of America, man. So be safe out there, brother.
Yes, sir. 520 home girl. I live near the southern border for the past 4 years. There were hardly anyone at border checkpoints from Border Patrol yesterday. They were already in full force at the checkpoints. That's
great to hear.
That is good to hear.
Yep.
Got to shut it down. I got nothing. Pedal Gun Jr. I'm tired of seeing billions of our dollars going to other countries to supposedly fight their wars, yet so many military-age males are coming in from the outside. Sorry, I agree with Todd. Thank you.
That's
fellow,
crazy talk.
Fellow butthole. C.H. Miller, 0904, I am married to a European, and let me tell you, the process sucks and the government doesn't care. We have spent so much money and time for him to be legal. The government must fix the process. And I'm not disagreeing with that either. I'm really not. I'm not either.
I say it should not be easy to be an American citizen, but there should be a process that makes sense. It shouldn't be a bureaucratic nightmare to do that. And that's the insanity of it all. So
it does. It is a process. I know firsthand. The people that make most of the money are the lawyers. So you have to hire immigration lawyers, and it takes forever. And it just it is a nightmare. So I can see why people, when they open up the borders, just come in because it's free and you just walk in and you don't have to spend all that money. But it's not the way that it needs to be done. So
no, not at all.
And that's all I got to say about that.
Not woke troubadours. You were correct, Chad. It is a derrick. The Oilers cheerleaders were known as the Derrick Dolls.
I always thought of the derrick as the thing that goes up and down, but I guess that's a pump. I'm not an oil field person. I can tell you. I had a great T-shirt that had this on there a few years ago that said "Frack Joe Biden."
That's a good one.
I thought it was creative, but it didn't sell that great.
That's a good one. Tarzan Cowboy. Tony, I'll talk to my brothers over in ICE and put in a good word for you, even though she's not on with you, guy.
Thank you.
And Potato for Megamoo.
Yeah.
I love it how everybody just throws, let's save Tony. Everybody knows you guys know I'm a U.S. citizen, right? But it's fine. Like, just FYI.
I've seen a birth certificate. It's got a Polaroid of him, and it says I am 12.
I am 12,
I've
exactly.
I've seen it.
I paid big money for it.
I've seen it. From MX wife, will they pardon the ones who were arrested for praying? Chad's already talked about that.
We're praying for that,
so.
man.
We hope so.
We are praying for that.
From Alicia Victoria 88, since Biden pardoned his whole family, including the preemptive pardons, the left needs to keep their mouth shut on the J6ers, especially since documents have been, quote, lost.
Yeah, it's a travesty of justice.
Concur. J. Crook 4. Did you guys notice Biden looking at Carrie Underwood's butt multiple times while she was standing in front of him, and JD's wife trying desperately to keep her kids away from him? I would too. It wasn't just him. Old Kamala's husband and old Bill did this a few times.
And I called it. I called it on Bill, and everybody, of course, saw Zuckerberg checking out Bezos's hooker girlfriend. He got busted a few times peeking.
But ladies and gentlemen, I'm not defending those sickos, but I mean, it is Carrie Underwood.
Yeah, I was about to say. I mean, can you blame him? I mean, Carrie Underwood.
It is
awesome,
Carrie Underwood,
and I can't say enough about Carrie. Her poise, her demeanor, just the way she carried that out and did what she did. I am convinced, just knowing what I know and knowing how these things go, that was sabotage. Someone out in the truck, I promise you, they switched a cable somewhere. That was sabotage. Somebody wanted that to screw up. And you can take that conspiracy wherever you want to, but Carrie handled it well. Good for her.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Kendra agreed with me. I was checking the chat to see if I was going to be in trouble for that.
You are for something.
Eventually. Angela Durham, 67, best day ever yesterday. A day off work, Trump inaugurated, and the Buckeyes won the national championship.
And I guess shout out to the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Yep.
They definitely did take care of Notre
They
Dame.
rolled through the playoffs, man.
They did. I told y'all a few weeks ago they looked scary.
Yeah.
After Tennessee, I was like, oh my God. These boys. That's all right, though. That's all right.
Their quarterback, Will, what's his name?
All we got to do is regroup. We'll be back. Bama will be back. We'll be back. That's it. That was the last question.
Oh, that was it. Okay.
That was it.
Yeah.
Awkward silence there. Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that. My bad.
So good. Everybody takes a deep breath. Well, we don't want to scare old Todd driving the truck out there. You know, we don't want to be too loud. All right, I'm going to be back 2 o'clock, 1 Central on the Chad Prather Show. You can check it out right here on the Dear America Network, which is the Graham Allen Rumble channel, or you can go subscribe to mine. We certainly want to grow all of these channels. Do that for Todd as well. And we got to click it all because, again, what we've learned over the last 10 years is the throttling and the censoring and the deplatforming is real. So we're trying to grow them all, and we will selfishly ask you to go subscribe and like and do all that. We're pushing everything we can to Rumble because they're just better with free speech. Better with free speech. So, final words, boys. Tony, what you got?
I got nothing. It's a great
All
show.
right.
Great couple of shows. I guess I do have something. Great couple of shows. I don't know what's going on tomorrow. I don't know if Graham and Royce will be back tomorrow or not. So, will I be here tomorrow? I have no idea. I'll see what the boss says, and might see you tomorrow, might not. But it was great being here.
I want you here always, and I have no idea ever what's going on. I'm the last person to find out. So
yeah, I was producing the show and didn't know it until the night before.
Yeah,
but I think it came together great. It was awesome being here, and we'll see what happens. If I am here tomorrow, hasta mañana.
Yeah, love you, buddy. Todd, what you got?
Yeah, look, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, we have to do this. Don't forget on the way out, slide over, hit that like button, hit the follow button, go to Chad's channel. That is, we're streaming on right now, and don't forget to follow his channel. You'll see Chad earlier. And this afternoon, the hot seat is back Tuesday, back to this afternoon. So come hang out and, let's just get pissed off together because that's what I like to do.
I love it. Like it, share it, subscribe, rate it, review it, do all the stuff. WatchChad.com is where you will find my live tour schedule. Next week, I'm in Austin. I got to spit every time. Cap City Comedy Club in Austin, and then I will be in Waco, Texas, and I will be in Granbury, just south of Fort Worth. So go to WatchChad.com. Come find me. All right, I love you guys. I will see you this afternoon. Todd will be with me as well. Who knows what we're talking about? It'll be different. We'll figure something out, but we hope to see you guys there. All right. In the meantime, for Tony and for Todd and Dear America, for Graham and Royce, pray for them as they travel home. We love you. God bless you, and we will talk to you later on. Bye.
Love you, miss you, mean it.